Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 million by 1 million strategy roundtable for entrepreneurs. 1M by 1M, as you know, is the first and only global virtual accelerator for technology startups. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue. In support of that mission, we do these free mentoring roundtables week after week after week. Year after year after year. This is the 655th session. We started working on this way back when in 2008 with an experiment. The experiment was successful. Eventually, that experiment led us to starting 1 million by 1 million in 2010. So the cornerstone of 1M by 1M is these online mentoring roundtables. And we do, not only these free sessions, of course, all the mentoring that happens in the premium program also happens in this mode. So this is a chance for you to get a feel for how that works. We are recording everything, so you will have access to the recording. Those of you who will be presenting today, your pitches, no need to take notes. You will have an opportunity to listen to it as many times as you need to after the session. We will start, however, today with a conversation with Gaurav Chaturvedi from Kae Capital. As you know, we've been, for the last, I would say, almost 3 months, we've been having conversations about AI investment thesis with our friends in the investor community. AI is very confusing for lots of people out there right now. AI is sweeping through industry like mad right now. Everybody wants to do an AI startup, and investors left, right, and center want to invest in AI startups. So then comes the next question: what is a good investment? What is a good business to build that can attract investment? And what are the implications of the various trends in our business? So that's the conversation we're going to have first, and then we'll get to the entrepreneur pitches. Gaurav, welcome. This is your first time here, so it's great to have you. Let's get started.
Thanks for having me, Samana. Excited to be here.
My pleasure. So, Gaurav, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Sasha from Kae Capital has been here before. We've had conversations with him, but I think this particular investment category is more up your alley in the Kae Capital portfolio. So let's get to know you a little bit, as well as Kae Capital's work with AI startups.
Sure thing. Let me first start with a quick intro to Kae. We'll be one of the earliest, very early stage fund in India. We typically invest across pre-seed, seed, in some cases pre-series A or seed plus. We are investing from our third fund, which is a $100 million fund. Typically write first checks of $500K to about $3 million, and then double down in the company as we move forward. I am an entrepreneur turned venture capital investor. I did an edtech company back in the day, 2006 to 2016, after my engineering. Then sold that company and then joined Kae. I've been with the firm for about 6 years now. And at Kae, I spend most of my time on B2B. So that would be B2B software most of the time. We also invest in B2B commerce, which is supply chain kind of businesses, both domestic in India as well as cross-border. And in software, we have invested across application layer in SaaS companies in the last 10, 12 years of our journey. But more and more, like you mentioned, AI is one area where we are very, very focused on. We have invested in application layers across AI. So AI is one of the core themes that we are very excited about right now.
So let's double click down on the AI portfolio then. It sounds like you are focusing entirely on the application layer.
Yes, we are. So if you look at the stack broadly, you have the foundation layer, you have the middleware layer, and then you have the application layer. We are typically very focused on the application layer. not as much on the foundation layer. While we can look at that, and we have seen some companies, but mostly very focused on the application layer.
So let's do first some case studies of what you've invested in, and talk about the analysis of, what did you see, what prompted you to write those checks. Let's do some examples.
So I think very excited about our AI portfolio. And we have invested across the spectrum. So maybe I can talk about one company in each area that will give a good context to the viewers. So on the B2B side, we've invested in a company called Super AGI, which is building autonomous systems for enterprises, which can be used in multiple use cases. The first use cases that they have gone after is sales, marketing, and customer support, as well as coding. So they are a fully autonomous AI-powered compound system, autonomous system, which essentially augments, I'm not using the word replace, but it can, but augments typical, let's say, salesperson, an SDR. So whatever an SDR has to do, a super sales can do. Whatever a software developer has to, a super coder has to do. Now, there are a lot of companies which have built these kind of agents, but what was more interesting when we talked to the team here, that they were going with a very fresh approach of not just having an agent, but having actually agent plus vertical custom built software for the whole workflow. When you think about super sales, it's not an AI agent only. It's an AI sales agent, which has been where the model has been trained on sales action. So it's a large action model, which has been trained on sales actions, plus a custom built system of records kind of a software which acts like a CRM or an AI agent. Our CRM still now have been built for humans to work with. Mm-hmm. And they have built their own sort of system of record CRM. So take care of the whole workflow end to end with an autonomous system. And this kind of an approach is something that we liked. We liked the way that they were very original in their research. They put out their agent framework in open source first. That's when we started tracking it, and then it became sort of viral. A lot of people started using it, and so great vision, a great team behind it, and the thesis that it is going to be a compound system, an autonomous system, and not just a simple agent which does the task and provides an outcome as a service is what we really liked on this case. So the consumers.
I have a question on this particular situation. What is happening in the market? So this company is now in the market. Where is it getting traction, and what is the experience of being in the market with this kind of offering?
Yeah, so they've been in the market for pretty less amount of time right now. They started selling in the market only about 4 months back with a product called Super Coder that they again open source, and they got a great response from the community. They didn't start monetizing that. They started monetizing the super sales product, for which they're getting a huge inbound, and the founders are now based in Valley only, in San Francisco only. Pretty well known in that AI community over there. So they're getting a lot of response, inbound response from companies, typically Series A to Series E technology companies, but also some large enterprises to start using super sales and super marketing.
So interest, not yet deals. Is that what you're saying? Is that the stage of the
deals is still early. They have some 10 paying customers right now because they just launched it about 2 months back.
Okay. The reason I'm asking this question, Gaurav, is so as you know, AI is easier to control in a more constrained mode. The more degrees of freedom you give it, the more it is difficult to control all the issues like hallucination, like precision, and so on. So AI has a tendency to make things up and go a little bit haywire. So so I'm very curious on what is going to happen when this is actually operating in real world scenarios, and how are they constraining, how are they preventing? Several of the conversations we've had here where people are already in the market are looking for ways to control that out of whack behavior. So is this a conversation this company is having?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm so glad that you asked this, Shmana. So that's where their approach is very different. Most of the companies who have done this right now have gone with a pure agentic approach, wherein you give an input to an AI agent or an AI worker, digital worker, etc., and there's an output. And in a lot of cases, that output is what actually goes in your workflow, goes to your customer, and things like that, which is an approach that the customers are not really comfortable with right now because of all the reasons that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And that's where Super AGI's approach of having a software around, which is essentially being used by a worker, by a human worker in the whole workflow, is something that they are getting a lot more interest on. So in this case, what happens is, let's say an SDR is there who wants to run a campaign. The SDR will create the campaign that this is what I want to run. The AI will do the research and show show the results to the SDR. He or she will then say that okay, let's go ahead with that. And this is the cadence that we should do. In a lot of cases, AI will suggest the cadence at the next section. This is all human control. There's a human in the loop. So this is built for humans. That's on the UX side, which gives a lot of comfort to the customers that it is still augmenting a salesperson rather than replacing. And that way you can tackle all the issues that you talked about, hallucinations, etc. Of course, on the back end, because they have built the model, custom built the model themselves, and they have done a lot of research on that side, they've been able to reduce hallucinations, etc. By quite a lot. It is still, of course, there because that's like a bug or features in the AI technology as of now. Hopefully that will change. But just having human in the loop takes care of a lot of that.
Good. And in the coding
Yeah.
storyline, you're saying you're getting traction from the open source community. To
Yes.
do what? What are they enabling the open source programmers to do?
Lots of use cases over there. So Super Coder right now works for 2 or 3 languages and frameworks, primarily in the front end side.
Okay.
And the community typically has been using it for creating. So there are a lot of products which entrepreneurs have been using, and fantastic products which are more like co-pilots. GitHub Copilot
Yes.
being a big one of that. Super Coder's approach is sort of end-to-end building an application, building a front end of an application, again with the thesis of having a human in the loop. So empowering the developer,
Mm-hmm.
but it does more than a co-pilot. So a lot of people have been using it for those kind of applications where I'll say just that I need this kind of a front end, or I give it somebody gives it a Figma file and it creates the front end for that. But there's a control in every part of that process where the developer can get in and control.
Great. So both your examples have highlighted the importance of the human in the loop. So let me ask you this question. Is human in the loop part of your investment thesis in the kinds of companies, AI companies you are investing in?
In a lot of cases, yes. And part of that is because we believe that technology right now is not in the shape for all the reasons that you also highlighted, hallucinations, data privacy, data security kind of things. We still don't understand LLMs that well, transformers that well. It's always better. And the customer wants output, customer wants outcome. Customer doesn't want a technology. And we believe that at this point of time, it is better to be on the spectrum of human plus technology. At some point of time, it will start moving towards fully technology, fully AI, but we are still far away from that.
So
In fact, just as an addition, a small point, we are also very excited and have made investments in services, AI-enabled services or AI-powered services,
I was
which
just
is how do
about
you
to get
use?
to that. Good that you get there. That
Yeah,
is the natural next question. So
absolutely.
let me actually kind of establish that question so that
Yeah.
people who are following this conversation can understand the thought process. So, you know, if you remember the trajectory of the software as a service industry, we kind of came along in that industry with a do it yourself theme. So people sold software And the enterprises use that software to do stuff themselves. So it's the do-it-yourself mode. Now, in the AI, especially with the emphasis on human in the loop, comes the question of do it for me. Instead of do it yourself, if you can not only get the AI technology, but if you get AI-enabled services to actually do the entire function using AI with trained people who understand how to use that AI and do that job function, whatever that in this case we're talking about. In some cases, we're talking about coding. In some cases, we're talking about sales. Some cases, we're talking about customer support. Whichever function it is a trained set of people who understand how to use that AI. So it's in a way, it is AI enabled business process outsourcing is where the trend seems to be going towards. So Gaurav, now I've set it up. Take it away and maybe give us some examples if you have invested in this category.
Absolutely. I think you're bang on, right? And I'll add another dimension to it also. I think right now enterprises have a lot of excitement on AI. There are a lot of budgets. Every CXO is mandated to figure out what are the use cases where they can use AI, and they have budgets available.
Yeah.
But on the funny side, they don't know what could be the use cases. They don't know how the technology works. They don't know how to get that outcome. So what we are seeing with our portfolio companies also who are doing proper pure B2B software sales also, that there is a lot of solutioning involved,
Yeah.
which essentially is also going towards, hey, can I just give it to you? You give me the outcome. So it is moving, it starts from a pitch for a product, then solutioning, and then services that we are seeing with our proper AI, B2B AI software companies also.
Okay, so
On the
that's
other
a different,
side,
that's yet another nuance on it. That is basically
nuance, yes,
developing, having AI platforms, AI technology tools, and then developing solutions for people. So that's more of a traditional solution services companies that are now AI-enabled solution services. That is
absolutely.
another model that is also, but that, actually, interestingly, if you look at the history of the beginning of AI in our industry, companies like Palantir, for instance,
Yeah,
have been actually solution services companies on top of their own platforms and really understanding how to use their own technologies to then provide solutions for their customers. There's another company called Machinify that has
yeah,
followed exactly that same approach in the healthcare domain. So there's, I think that you could create centers of excellence which with real domain knowledge in a particular domain have a set of technologies and provide solution engineering, solution services companies. That's another category of companies that are being built. Now, India stands at a very strategic position for something like this, because there is this long history of building services companies. And interestingly, the venture capital industry was never interested in funding services companies, but now with AI, they are becoming interested. So go ahead and talk more about what you are seeing, what you're investing in with that thesis.
Absolutely, absolutely. So coming back to pure that services as a software, as we are calling it, or software and services thesis, right, where you make services productized. We've very recently invested in a company that I can't talk about right now because we have not announced it, but they are building a marketing agency for SMBs, performance marketing agency for SMBs.
Yeah.
The whole thesis being that there's a lot of billions of dollars which are spent by marketing by enterprises and small and medium businesses across sectors. So you have brands, C2C brands, you have services also. All of them do marketing. But marketing agencies have not changed over the years, while marketing in itself has changed. So these guys have built a proper platform which using AI automates every facet of marketing. Starts by actually understanding what kind of ads are working in the market. So more of analysis kind of an AI, synthesizing that what kind of ads are working, And then, of course, creating the right ad copy, adding stuff to it, videos, social media videos, all of that stuff which is automated by AI. But again, very interestingly, they have put human in the loop, and they are creating it as a services business, wherein they are saying that, hey, if you are a 5 million, $10 million revenue small company, a services company, you don't have access to the kind of quality agencies that an enterprise has. But today, because I'm automating most of this stuff, my cost of serving you is very small, and a lot of heavy lifting is being done by AI. I can provide you the same data-driven marketing insights and creatives and agencies as an AI platform plus services.
Yeah.
That's another example of where you are actually taking a services industry, putting it, wrapping it around a AI product, custom built product,
Yeah.
and then creating a company out of it. Now, interestingly, what you said that VCs were never interested in services industry. We believe that services typically has been 50 to 60% gross margin kind of a business, translates to about 20% EBITDA. But if you automate a lot of stuff by using AI, this can go closer to a typical software gross margin. And if you are able to provide real value to the customer, and if you are able to get retention of the customer, it starts mirroring a typical software business model where the cash flow profiles, etc., also become like that. So there's no reason why
Well, and the
it is
repeatability and
different.
scalability of the business goes up, right? One of the critical
Absolutely.
services business is the lack of scalability. Although we have seen very large services companies being built by using various kinds of best practices, but I think AI just takes that to a different level of scalability. And I do think services business models are going to be a very big part of this do it for me business models are going to be a very big part of the AI revolution. And as such, VCs should invest in services companies.
Absolutely. We are bang on exactly same thought process.
So what, in terms of the Indian industries, your focus is in the Indian industry, of course, global markets often, but your business, the deal flow is all Indian deal flow. Can you talk a little bit about what are you seeing in the deal flow, in the trends, in the numbers? You know, how many AI startups are in India right now, and what are the trends of those?
Yeah, interesting question. I unfortunately would not have the right numbers, but I'll still give some ballpark.
Yeah.
I think I think we've started seeing a lot of companies come up and start on the AI side about a year back.
Yeah.
Specifically after ChatGPT revolution started, and this has gone up and down. So I'll say it has come in waves. The first wave was typical, which I think happened globally also, what you would loosely call wrappers, where you take an API of OpenAI and then just build a wrapper around it. Useful sometime, but a lot of issues with retention and a lot of initial issues with hallucination, etc. That was the first wave. Then we started seeing a lot of companies come up on sort of LLM ops kind of categories, middleware, where they give a platform to manage LLM applications, and there are a bunch of them which have come up in the last 6 months or so, last 9 months or so. In the last 6 months is where we have started seeing a lot more applications come up with a specific angle of solutioning or services also. So that's again something that we have started to see now, and we've seen across spectrum. So we've seen a lot of applications on the sales side, we've seen a lot of applications on marketing side that, as you would appreciate, are usually the first ones that people look at, the lowest hanging fruit. But we have also, because of India's rich history or Indian ecosystem's rich history with dev tools, we started to see a lot of dev tooling on the LLM application side also, as well as a lot of products which are using AI on the software development lifecycle. So that's another category which is coming up. I think it just generally goes in waves. But if I have to just broadly think about most of the software companies, like the entrepreneurs who are building B2B software, it's all AI. So the deal flow is more or less mirroring that, whatever you used to see in normal SaaS 2 years back, almost a similar kind of stuff you are seeing in AI in terms of volume.
And what are you seeing on the BPO side? You know, BPO is the lowest hanging fruit for AI to automate. And
Yeah,
this discussion that we just had applies very well to BPO, right? You can,
yes,
you know, automate a very large part of what is being done in a human BPO mode. A lot of that can be AI enabled, but it can still continue to be in this do it for me mode.
yeah.
So what are you seeing, you know, whole BPO workflows turn into AI companies?
We are. I think it is still not as prevalent, but a lot of companies have started to take voice agents as a core technology and convert it into a customer support agent or sort of that BPO kind of a thing. A lot of companies have taken the do it for me approach, wherein instead of hiring 10 customer support agents for any use case, you can just outsource it to them. Wherever we have spoken to, and this was few months back when we spent some time on this, and most of them are, by the way, targeting specific industries, mostly in India. So none of them is looking at global market right now. And in India itself, it's a large enough market. And most of them are going category by category. So if some folks are building it specifically for retail, some folks are building specifically for BFSI, banking and finance, which is a very large use case. There's still, I'll say, teething issues that the companies are right now figuring out. And those are typically in terms of quality, reliability, and specifically in the case of financial services, you need accuracy, you need reliability over there. Because of technology and of course latency also. So technology is still probably not there 100% for them to really uh, scale it up very quickly. So a lot of them are in the POC stages, and we hope that few of them will sort the technology out and will start scaling up. But we are seeing a bunch of them.
And what about the language? You know, in India, there are so many languages, and there is a whole, you know, population that is not English speaking.
Yeah.
Is that coming into the forefront now? Because a lot of things are doable with AI on the language side now. Is that starting to show applications?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, interesting that you asked that. So we have invested in on the consumer side, like I mentioned, we have invested across. We've invested in a company like Super AGI, which is pure software in a different way. We've invested in a services company, which is marketing agency. On the consumer side, we've invested in a company called Supernova, which is an English language tutor for vernacular students in Middle India.
Okay.
And as you know, right now it's a huge market which nobody was able to really crack because it is Middle India, so the AOVs are lower over there. What's interesting about these guys, what they have built is they have built a AI tutor for English, which is right now focused on vernacular and specifically from Tamil, from South Indian languages. This is at a much lower price point. This is, of course, fully AI driven, wherein you converse with an AI and they've built very interesting technology around typical use of foundation models. But what is more interesting that we like about them is that they have actually used AI to automate all their business processes, where their sales funnel, their support function, everything is using AI. And because of that, they've been able to get their cost of acquiring a customer and cost of supporting a customer bring down by 60-70%.
Yeah.
And that's the whole reason why they could make it at a price point which is palatable to Middle India.
Yeah.
So this kind of a business model in itself was not possible before Gen AI technology came up. But we are seeing a lot of these kind of applications as well.
Yeah. So I think this is what you're highlighting is a very big opportunity, not just in India, in a lot of the developing markets, of being able to cater to those markets at a very low price point. I think the entire African continent is up for grabs because it hasn't really had the level of training, education. It has been low, and it's a very large youth population that needs education, etc., etc. So I think this consumer applications, ed tech applications, there are lots of opportunities in all these cases, and both from a price point of view and from a language point of view, this is a very ripe, very wide opportunity. Great. Well, wonderful conversation.
Exactly.
Gaurav, any other last thoughts before we switch to the entrepreneurs segment?
So I think this has been great. Again, thanks for having me. Just to sort of underscore the point that we believe AI is one of the biggest platform shifts after probably cloud, and it will have a lot of second order effects that we are right now not able to even see. It will change how software or technology is created, distributed, and consumed. But we are still in the early phase. So a lot of things to be
Yes.
excited about for us as well as for the entrepreneurs.
Very good. Wonderful conversation. Thank you for coming. And we will continue, as we, of course, every 6 months, every 9 months, there's going to be a lot to discuss. So this is a series that we're going to continue for a while and we will revisit. So folks, we're going to switch to the
Look forward to
entrepreneur
that.
pitch
Thanks for
session.
having me. Thank you, everyone.
We're going to switch to the entrepreneur pitch session. Just a few thoughts before we start, not only for those who are pitching today, but also those who are going to be pitching in the upcoming sessions. We are on your side. This is a safe working session. No need to be nervous. Nobody's going to bite you. We're just going to have a candid conversation, brainstorming about your strategy, and we'll try to find ways that you can accelerate your journeys. You can disagree with me, no problem. I'll give you my input. You can do whatever you want with it. Prateek, you are going first.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, just
Okay.
a little bit low. Your audio is a little bit low. So maybe just speak up a little bit.
Am I audible now?
Yes, perfect. Go ahead.
Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Prateek Sharma and I am from Pink City of India, Jaipur. That's where we are based in. And currently we are working on financial inclusion in tier 3 to tier 6 cities. So, I think most of you have heard about UPI, the UPI, India UPI success.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, are you saying something? I can't hear you.
No, I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Okay. So, unified. So we are currently working on financial inclusion, especially in tier 3 to tier 6 cities, where there are lots of cooperative banks, primary agriculture banks, microfinancial institutions, self-help groups who are deprived of having financial inclusions. So we are building tech for these kinds of financial institutions, so that they can be integrated with UPIs. So for that, what we are doing is we have built this tech, like our own core banking solution for these banks. We have partnered with some nationalized banks like SBI, and we have created an alliance with these banks so that we can give the customer of these small financial institutions pathways so that they can these customers, their clients, can use UPI and do real-time transactions.
Okay.
So, ma'am, so that's what it's written in these slides. So basically, we design our own core banking solution depending on the needs of these financial institutions, and we enhance their cybersecurities. We also provided them the vernacular language support so that they can train their staff to use our tech. And currently in India, more than 3 financial institutions are using a tech and and they have more than 1 lakh customers who are doing real-time transactions through our solutions.
Okay.
And so this is like a little bit about our tech. Like what it does is like it reduces the cost and it shrinks human error because of a user-friendly interfaces and user experiences. So this is a revenue model. Currently we are not focused on increasing revenue. We are more into dealing with doing strategic partnership with these banks so that we can reach to a good number, so that we can crack more number of banks out there. Like we can
So
give
these
a
three,
yeah.
the three financial institutions that you're working with are paying customers or revenue generating customers
Yes,
or
ma'am.
not?
We are generating revenue from them also.
Can you
We have-
explain how are you charging them? What is the revenue model for these three customers?
So, ma'am, basically there are two revenue models we are working on. One is branch-wise model. So, suppose there is a one bank who have three different branches in three different cities. So, for every branch we charges some money, and for main is headquarter, and remaining we charges some money. We charges, and another one is based on transaction. Like when these customer do an like when they customers like banks customer do an online transaction, we charges a fees like
Okay.
around like actually it's almost a 2.5% of the total transaction, because some of the charges is kept by the nationalized bank and we got a cut around 0.75 something, we get a commission.
Okay. And this is already happening. How long have
Yeah.
you had these banks running your software?
We started our journey in 2020.
Okay.
Till then, like it took almost 1 year to like onboard the first bank, and after in next year we were successfully able to get two more clients. Now we are looking to expand our like.
But these three customers have been running for 3 years now almost?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And that's that. So they add up to about 100,000 end users.
Yes, ma'am.
So they're all generating transaction revenues.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fantastic. What is the revenue level right now for your company?
Ma'am, it's quite low, not that much, but like in Indian INR, last year we closes around 35 lakhs.
35 lakhs annual.
Yeah.
35 lakhs annual. Okay.
Almost the transaction volume was around 300 CR, like total transactions that happened through our systems. It was 300 CR, but only one bank gave us on that UPI model that is working. We are working like per transaction volume. Other two banks gave us on a branch-based models.
So
We
they're
charge them.
giving you is there a pushback that you're receiving from on the transaction revenue side?
No, ma'am, not the pushback. Actually, it was one of my. It was like we started with this with like we wanted to crack the client, so we pushed this model first. We just like it was we were very new to the market, and we have to lower our cost to get those customers.
So now those customers cannot be moved to a transaction revenue model?
And they will. They will. We will do it with in upcoming time.
Okay. All right. Got it. I understand your business. You can talk about market size, but I can already see that your market size needs to be a bottom-up TAM analysis. What you have here is not the way to do market sizing. You need to learn how to do market sizing and figure out. So if you are you here to discuss fundraising? Is that what brings you here?
Actually, yes. And ma'am, this is my first time I'm pitching to someone.
Okay.
So I'm very much nervous. And
No problem. Not at all. No problem. So in a fundraising pitch, when an investor is looking at your company, the investor is trying to figure out how to grow, how your company is going to go from zero or small revenues to $100 million in 5 to 7 years from when they come into your company.
Right.
From when the investment happens, in the next 5 to 7 years, you have to go to $100 million. So it's a very fast growth trajectory. And you have so far bootstrapped and validated a little bit, which is great. The fact that you're already in revenue, you understand how to sell, you have actually worked with banks and fine-tuned your product, this is all great. So now we have to figure out a strategy of how you can grow fast. to attract investment, you have to figure out a strategy of how you're going to grow fast. That's what we're going to work on. If you decide that you want to work with 1 million by 1 million on an ongoing basis, that is what we're going to be working on, is how to establish, how to accelerate, how to develop the acceleration strategy, and then you can attract financing.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
ma'am, obviously, like we want to raise funds, like so that we can go get more and more clients actually.
Yeah, but that's something that it doesn't happen automatically. It's not like you bring in money and it automatically grows fast. That's not how business happens. So you have to have a strategy. When you talk to investors, you have to tell investors exactly how you are going to acquire customers on a fast clip. And that is the strategy work that we're going to need to do on your business before we can go out to raise money around this business.
Got it.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'm so like,
go ahead.
yeah. So, ma'am, like my focus was like, ma'am, first, I think let's talk about our business model.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, what's your review on it? Like, how you see that business model?
I don't think it's a problem. If you can get banks to pay you on the transaction, it's fine. You can charge it in that mode where there is a kind of like a setup fee and then it's transaction. My guess is, as you establish yourself in the market and you have differentiated value proposition, and that's something we need to work on. What is the differentiated positioning for this? You may be able to charge a software as a service, subscription fee plus transaction fee. So all of that, I think we need to work on. That strategy we need to work on. We need to figure out how to validate those points, because ultimately an investor wants to make money.
Exactly.
The bank wants to buy your software so that they can both make money and save money. The
Right.
investors want to invest in your company because they want to make money. They want to, do 3x, 5x, 10x on their investment in your company. And that storyline is what we have to develop so that you can pitch it to investors and convince them that your business is a good investment. You're not there yet, but we can get you there.
Okay.
Okay. I will explain to you how to use 1M by 1M in a moment. Let me listen to Milita first. Milita, right? Just a second. Yeah, Milita, please unmute your line. Go ahead. You are unmuted. You can go ahead. Milita, get started. No, something is wrong. Your audio is not. We can't hear your audio.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Thank you, Shramana, for giving time and listening to me. So just to get started, I'm Milita, worked for Microsoft before jumping into my entrepreneurial career. I've been following you since last 10 years, actually, in LinkedIn.
Wow.
And,
okay.
and I have been reading your all bootstrap stories. And
Okay.
this is one of the reason also that I loved your bootstrap stories, basically. So this is one of the reason also I always thought that bootstrap is better than kind of.
Great.
So
Well, bootstrapping is the way to get started. So if you're starting,
yes,
that is the way to get started. No
yes,
question.
yes. And if not needed, I will want to be like that. Basically.
Okay, perfect.
So okay, so just to give about the business, so spent 16 years always into either into go-to-market space. I was GTM lead for ISVs or SaaS products in Microsoft, so helping them in the go-to-market space from Microsoft on behalf of Microsoft, and that's where it inspired me to start my own. And so always into the either partnership space or all into the go-to-market space, basically. So
Okay.
that made me think to build a product during my tenure, face the challenge of collecting video testimonials, video bytes from and scale it basically. Collecting because there are logistical issues. If you put an agency over there, they will go and shoot. So there are obviously every company, Microsoft can pay an agency, but every company cannot pay to that extent, kind of, right, for shooting and all that. So build a product which is basically to engage and convert prospect with the voice of customer, capturing the voice of customer. Basically how it works is you add the questions, create a link, unique link, send it to your hundreds of customer at one go. They can open it from their laptop or mobile and record it, and submit it, and you get everything at one place. Right? So ease of getting the testimonials, ease of getting video bytes, employee testimonials, or interviews, customer interviews, or product feedbacks, and all that by sending a link to the customer or the stakeholders, kind of. So that's where the name came up with Endorse.live. So basically, right now, what we are yeah.
Are you already doing this? Is it a product that is already being in use?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay, all right.
So right now, I have 12 customers basically.
Okay.
Out of that, 3 are high ticket size customer, and remaining are either one time or they are like coming and going, kind of churn is there, kind of. So there are a lot of things to fix. So the people, how they are using, either they are collecting testimonials or the case studies, video testimonials or case studies, or video reviews. People are also used for customer interviews, which is kind of a podcast kind of thing, asynchronous basically. They will record the video and they will send it to the customer. Customer can open it and record it at their own time and re-record it if they find that, okay, I've missed some points or something like that, and submit it, and then we stitch it together. So there is a services component also right now, because in future we are building editing on the fly, where you need not to do anything. You get everything AI based, where the logo will get added, your name, your designations, and your subtitles will get added. So for example, this kind of conversation that you have had with Gaurav, you can just send him the link and he can record it and you can get his interviews. Obviously, the interaction part will be follow-up question, and interaction part will not be there, but it will ease the process of collecting video.
Milita, let me point out one thing here. Don't broaden your use cases too much.
Okay.
Narrow down on the use case that is really working. So these 3 customers that are steady customers for you, that are paying you good money to use your product, tell me more about those. What is the use case? Okay. How much are they paying you, and what are they doing?
Okay. So basically, till now I've been focusing on the B2B segment only. And my target customers profiles are customer marketing people or customer success people. Okay. And problem is collecting the video bytes at scale. And what solution I've been providing is the platform to collect the videos. Yeah. So now, from a use case perspective, the highest paying 3 customers, one is they are a market research company, and they are collecting their CIO, CTO's bytes and research information through the platform. So they are sending the questions and they are recording and giving it, and then they are using those analysis and making the reports out of it and all that. So that's the first customer that is using. The second customer is an L&D company. So they are currently using it for their trainees bytes, testimonial bytes, video bytes, and as well as HR video testimonials, and as well as they are doing thought leadership videos of HR people on the trends of future of learning and all that kind of thing. Okay. So these are the 3 use cases they are using. The third customer is a is a finance AI automation customer, which is a SaaS company again. They are using it basically for collecting partner. They focus big time on partners. So how their partners are using their platforms. So again, basically interviews and the video testimonials part.
Okay.
So
And
these
what
are the
is
three.
the revenue level for your company right now?
So right now we started 1 year back almost, and last Feb the product got launched. Before that I spoke to 30 customers, 30, 35, 32 customers, and got that feedback that whether they need these and all that kind of interview. After that only, and I started providing them as a services rather than building the product, taking the videos and making it and all that. So we focused on this research part and the competition research and all that part, and then launched in the month of Feb. And from Feb to now, these are the, 12 customer base
You've made
that
very
I
good
got.
progress.
Yeah,
Excellent.
and 3 customers are paying. So from 3 customers, I'm getting 2,500, 2,500 USD MRR.
Okay. 3 total or 2,500 each?
No, total.
Total, okay.
Total. These are, and remaining are sometimes they are using and then only they are paying. So some upsell are, some additional revenue is coming when they are using. So for example, I've done a video employee video bite for a Microsoft also because of my own connections and all that.
Yeah.
But there also it is like a one-time kind of thing.
Got it. Okay. I think based on the work that you've done so far and what you have gathered, I'm pretty sure I can help you position this company for a much faster growth.
Okay.
I think you've done very good validation work. So congratulations on that. What you have been reading in these bootstrapping interviews, you've internalized well. So I'm very proud of you in that sense, actually. So well done. There is now, based on all the things that you've learned, I think we're going to pick and choose some strategies and really execute those strategies in a more elaborate format. That would be the next step. So we do have very well developed techniques of how to go from 5 customers to 50 customers to 500 customers. And that's what we will teach you. If you decide to work with 1M1M, that is, we will teach you all that. And I think it's perfectly doable. So good work, very good work. No problem with getting to US market from India. No problem at all. This is the methodology that you will learn is going to be perfectly fine to work with from India. Shouldn't be a problem. You're in Mumbai, yeah? Your audio has disappeared again. Anyway, I think we have more or less covered what we needed to cover. Let me quickly explain to you those of
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
So we will get to, Milita, Prateek, we'll get to more questions from you if you have any after. Let me just spend a segment explaining to people how to use 1M1M. And then, you can ask more questions about that as well. So everything is online. So you can use 1M1M from anywhere in the world. And your journey starts at 1M1M.com. And our premium program is the full acceleration program. So given, Milita, Prateek, of course, the stage you are in, your best bet if you want to work with 1M1M would be to join the program, and then I can work with you on a weekly basis. We have private roundtables every week, and I will give you things to do, things to work on, modules to study within the curriculum, and that's going to basically help you move forward in the direction that you want to. Whether it's bootstrapping or it's financing, it doesn't matter. The main thing is the strategy work that you're going to have to do and build up towards a higher clip, velocity business. Your goal is the same, is to go from, 3 customers, 5 customers to 50 customers, 500 customers, 5,000 customers. So that's what we're going to be working on. Now, you can go to the website and look at what are the options. There is Premium, which is the full acceleration program that includes mentoring. For some of you who are just starting, you haven't really done any of the validation work that Milita has done or Prateek has done. Maybe you're just starting to think about what you're going to do and how you're going to go about it. You can also start coming in through Basic, where you study the curriculum and start applying the curriculum to your thought process, to your validation process, so on. That's also an acceptable way to do it. And that's Basic is curriculum only. So go look on the website, what to expect from Basic, what to expect from curriculum. You're welcome to come in straight to Premium as well, no problem, if you want to include mentoring in it. The mentoring, ongoing mentoring, weekly mentoring is only part of Premium. Some of you have issues about privacy and want to really work one-on-one. So we have a one-on-one consulting option. It is, of course, much more expensive. It's $1,000 an hour, as opposed to Premium, which is $1,000 a year. Basic is $100 a month, $99 a month. So these free roundtables happen every week. You're welcome to come to every one of them and listen and learn. You can pitch for free once and get this kind of interactive feedback. After that, if you want to continue working with me, please join Premium. If you have questions after this session about the program, Irina Patterson is your contact. You're very welcome to talk to her and ask further questions. I will take questions also in just a moment. So use the public chat to ask your questions, or if you're already your audio is already activated, you can ask questions directly. If you want your audio to be activated, let us know in public chat and Maureen will activate your audio and you can go there. So questions, folks? Anybody? Milita, Prateek, do you have any other questions?
No.
Good. All right. Well, I don't see any hands up. Anybody? Okay, looks like we're done then. I will see you next time, and keep going, keep making lots of progress. It's great to see the work you guys have done, Prateek and Milita. Very good validation work, excellent validation work, and you can go a very long way from where you've come today. You can go a very long way. So good luck, and I look forward to working with you. Bye-bye.